Here are 4 vintage 5.5-inch MPC spaceman figures that I painted. Soft plastic, 1960s. This guy over here was missing his hand, so I gave him a hook. And he was representative of the earlier group where I painted the whole figure. These 3, I wanted to keep it minimal and just do just a basic little bit of detailing. Although I think I could try a little bit more on the red one for sure. I'm very happy with the guy all the way to the right there with his wrench. And both of these 2 had broken guns. He had a broken hand. I'm not sure why he got picked, except that maybe I had more than one of them. So very little paint, and I went with a metallic so that they're not, their ethnicity is undetermined. The idea was to celebrate the plastic itself rather than just cover it with paint, although I like the yellow one as well, especially with the hook. And here's a sampling of the MPC 5.5-inch recasts from Mexico. Unfortunately cast in a plastic that was probably more suitable for making filing cabinets. It is not flexible at all. You can see here how this guy, his oxygen tank split right off, his equipment belt as well, and unfortunately this guy here at the end just gave out. Here's one of the original 1960s figures. These were first manufactured, I think, in 1962, if not 1963. And he's cast in a nice, friendly, soft plastic that you have to work at for a while to do some damage with, and trust me, I did when I was a kid. I remember having the guy with the box. I remember having the guy with the pistol. And I'm pretty sure I also had the spacewalker, because I have a vestigial memory of trying to press the terrain patch to meet his foot, thinking that he looked kind of awkward there, half in space. And these were painted back in the era when I was covering everything with paint, whereas by the time I got around to trying some of the original 1960s figures, I'd backed off. I was trying to be minimal and clever with the paint. Where here we're just gobbing it all over the place. It's a mixture of orange and the clear tar gel. I can't remember for the life of me what orange it was, and I tried giving them visors made out of gel that, it's kind of fogged up in there or whatever. This guy here, the engineer, was the name that I came up for this pose. He's one of my favorites. I'm very proud of him. And I've got a destination for him in mind already. And that was the era when I was using the iridescent metallics mixed with, looks like quinacridone crimson. So he's the crimson engineer. Again, with probably clear tar gel on it. And then layers of clear coat, acrylic spray clear coat. And then this troop here, these were supposed to be, I was trying to paint the SpaceX Starman spacesuit. I'm very impressed with that. My dad and I watched a couple 3 launches of them, and I love the spacesuits that they had the guys in there. He may have come early because I did not give him a black helmet. His helmet was probably just never finished. And I like the look. I like the look. And, if I ever need to do over any, just a can of white spray paint. And I know you're wondering, have you painted a Marx 6-incher? I kind of started to. This guy here, not sure if the camera's going to really show it, but he's light damaged. One side is all yellowed. The other side just looks aged. And so I decided, well, that's damaged. He can be painted. He's an original Marx, 1969, stamped on the bottom. These have to be vintage, and I'm not sure how to describe it. Just getting the Mexican recast, you can get a box of them for $20, and it's just not the same thing. I want to work with the vintage pieces when I can, but as you can tell, I was sort of timid with this guy. Had the set when I was a kid, so they're iconic. They're something that I remember from when I was 4. Basically, all I did is base there. It's covered with the micaceous iron oxide as sort of an underside layer, and then I was going to go over it with glass bead gel and some crackle paste and turn it into a bit of moon terrain. He and the engineer are a good example of how I hope to present these things on just like a section of a wood log. Just section it down to like a sandwich width, and then a couple of holes drilled through it to wire the figure in place, and then festoon it to look like moon terrain. And so he's not in a box, and there's no front or back. The owner would be able to enjoy it from both sides and free it from the base for other adventures if they feel like it. So while I'm timid about painting a Mark 6-inch astronaut, I'm not timid about using them as found objects in something. This is actually a gift set that I've been making for my nephew, Jasper. For future gift-giving needs. Comes with 3 moon rocks, and the box decorated to simulate Mark's packaging, although it doesn't need to be cherished. I want the kid to have the same spaceman that I had when I was 4. And if he takes care of them, he'll have some good resale value come college. And then, of course, a revised version, in this case using a found drawer. Big enough area to present a figure or two in the larger scale. Some nice painting there with the acrylics. Give it a little terrain. Include a couple of moon rocks. Everyone's going to want a custom Steve Nyland moon rock. And here they're having some discussion about how they have to walk all the way back to the base because the one guy locked the keys in the spacecraft.